It's been said that the market really is relying on three pillars: stimulus, vaccine, and earnings. And with the VIX this morning below 22, it does appear that all three pots are boiling.
Yes. Look, Carl, I hate to say that it's Pangloss because obviously that's chimerical, but this really is a moment where we had a lot of people get negative. If you recall on Monday, we even had some chief strategists saying, look, what happened last week is really a top. It clearly wasn't a top. We're focused front and center on some great numbers. The backdrop of the employment number makes it so that we really don't have to worry about Fed Chief Powell, what he says. Obviously, Secretary Yellen going to try to hammer out a stimulus deal. I'm very gratified by the AstraZeneca news just this morning that perhaps a vaccine that works against the new strain, because we have so many people coming out and saying new strains can't be stopped. I'd like to put that I don't put it in a box. Let's just say that a lot of the drug companies are working very hard to make it so that we are able to have a normal life within 3, 4, maybe 5 months. David, will it not be something when we all get together, we're vaccinated, and we say to ourselves, okay, I'm feeling pretty good. What should I do now?
Yeah, and hopefully there'll be plenty of things to choose from. I think the one thing a lot of us will do is just choose to be together, which will be nice. And congregate and eat and celebrate. So we all look forward to that. Hey, Jim, by the way, do you have an estimate? I mean, I know you're going to be getting round 2 pretty soon, but when do you think, and in light of the jobs number and the overall conversation, of course, they've been having for the last hour on Squawk Box about the economy, when is your expectation that we will have widespread vaccination and therefore that ability to start to really resume?
Sure. After the J&J last night, I really think that we're talking about Cinco de Mayo. Why do I say that? Because that's the day I intend to open Bar San Miguel again. Look, David, I think that there's going to be this moment. We seem to be able to have finally getting the vaccine to places where people are able to access it. And I think when J&J, even though I know it wasn't perfect, it does say, look, no deaths, no hospitalization. We're getting to the point where people say, you know what, this is going to happen. It's inevitable. Let me go book a cruise. Let me go take a trip. In December, I want to be somewhere else. Will it be roaring 20s? It could be like the end of the pandemic, the Spanish flu. So I think we're talking 4 months, David. I don't think we're talking 6 months anymore. There's just too much in the pipeline. J&J up 3 ahead of this is a little odd, since I think this is one of the more predictable things that could happen. But this government that we have now seems like it's not fighting the tape of the disease. And that's very important. Let's everybody remember, you got to still wear masks. I am worried about super spreader events. Carl, you know that when people get together and their voices are loud and they are even outside, you're going to have another level, again, of infection. So let's not get depressed. It's going to happen. But the cavalry is here. The cavalry is here, and some of it's J&J, some of it's Pfizer, some of it's Moderna, some of it's AstraZeneca. I'm going to be talking to Sanofi. They did not deliver, but they might have something in the pipe. I like what I'm seeing, and by the way, let's give the Russians credit, Carl. Sputnik 5 is a big, big win.
Yep, and that has big implications for Russia and Europe, obviously. Dr. Gottlieb on Squawk this morning, Jim, suggested if you get the emergency use for J&J at the beginning of March, really, by the end of March is when availability starts to explode. And then you're looking at a situation where, as you said, by May, June, you're looking at most adults having gotten it. That leads you to what Treasuries are doing this morning. 10-year now, 118. 30-year, Jim, 198. We've been talking about this increasingly. Is the spread now, is it a 6-year high?
Well, look, I know the bank stocks have been strong. That's one of the groups that you want to buy in this moment. We're still seeing incredible housing numbers. We're still seeing exodus from the inner cities. We're seeing so much economic activity. I had Rockwell Automation on last night. They were talking about just gigantic growth in orders. Gigantic. We're going to have Ford on later. I mean, geez, these numbers are good. So I see a lot that's good. What's bad? Obviously, people are still getting sick. And people are still at Clorox last night, and people still don't have enough wipes. So I think that it's a cross moment where there are a lot of people, Carl, who believe that you still want to own some companies that do well when you're hunkering down. Nesting is the term. But when I see all the different recommendations today for mall stores, for people who go out, I'm talking about the Kohl's, the L Brands, or Tapestry, Ralph Lauren, Foot Locker. If someone posits that maybe Nike buys them, I don't know about that. But what I say to myself is the street is prepared to open up, and that Peloton may be the one sticking point. Peloton is not an open-up stock. Peloton is a stay-closed stock. I think that's going to be the fulcrum. Carl, I got to tell you, I think that's the fulcrum for what's going to occur today. Because if you think that Peloton goes higher, what you're saying is, wow, you know what, we're locked down. But, David, if you think that when we get situations like I have Brunswick on tonight, which is considered to be a company you buy boats because there's no place to hang out that's safe, well, I don't know. I mean, that's another one that's a fulcrum name. We are at a moment, David, where I'm really not quite sure how quickly we can open, but I do know that once we open, you're not going to do the same things that you've been doing.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.